What's up, y'all? It's your boy Josh, and in this video, I'm going to be quickly talking about a kind of a special topic. It has to do a lot with keeping your original customers happy. So, what I mean by that is, as you climb this sales ladder, as you become more valuable, as you go from, for example, I started out doing $100, $150, $500 website work, and it's all quick and simple and stuff like that. And then I started doing the more advanced, $750 a month type work. And now I'm finally at the point where I'm getting consistently the $1,000 a month clients. Okay, so this is where I want to be. I want to be able to get obviously even higher to the real big goal, where it's people are making $2,500 a month to $10K a month. That is obviously where I would love to be at, but I'm not ready for that. I know I'm not ready for that. I still got to master the $1,000 a month ladder. But what happens to the customers here? What happens to the little guy who helped you get up this ladder, who they hit you up, the guy's like, yo, can you help me out with my site? And this actually happened to me yesterday, and this is why I'm making the video. And you're up here, right? You're balling and you're chilling. What are you gonna do? And they got a budget of maybe $100, $200. They don't got a big budget. Do you go with them, or do you just say nah, bro, I got other shit on my mind? So what do you do? And in my case, I wanted to go back and help them out. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be an asshole. I'm going to help them out, right? This woman, she was one of my first clients. She wanted me to help her out with her site. And I gave her a pretty low ball quote for adding a page. It's usually $200, I'd say, to add a page. I gave her a discount on it because, again, the difference is not so much when you run an agency. It's not that the workload is so hard, especially if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing in marketing and online marketing, and you barely know how to use WordPress, God help you. But the idea is that if you know what you're doing, I came from web development, so I knew how to operate websites. It's in my blood, And the thing I wanted to point out is, when you get those little gigs, it's never the workload itself that's a lot. It's always coordinating. It's always clarifying with the customer, hey, do you want to do this and that? And then they're like, no, yes, all that stuff. And that takes up the time. That's why I charge $200 for adding a page. It's because it takes up some of my time. The workload maybe takes 30 minutes, right? But I always have to follow up, and it's not worth my time to do that stuff or to do the workload. I can follow up, but I don't want to do all the heavy lifting or the actual work involved. So I used to do this where I was a solopreneur, right? I was just doing all the work myself, obviously because I just started out, and that's why she hired me, because she knew that I could, be attentive and everything. And now she came back to me and said, hey, I need something out on my site. And then I came up to her. I was like, okay, you know what? I'll take it on. I'll take on the job because I want to give you good quality. I want to be there for you. And so what I ended up noticing is that this type of work, let's say it takes 45 minutes, 30 minutes, let's say 30 minutes to upload content to site, and it takes maybe 30 minutes talking to the client and chatting with them. So hey, how you doing? How's life during this whole COVID thing? All that stuff takes about 30 minutes of my time. I'm not saying I don't like doing it. I like it. I actually like engaging with my clients, especially old ones. So I was more than happy to hear her voice. And let's say it takes 20 minutes to review and edit, because the client always wants something else. And let's just say that it comes down to maybe an hour, 1.5 hours. It'd probably be a little bit more, but let's just say 1.5 hours. Okay, so 1.5 hours. Whereas let's say I delegate this task to a VA, you know, and let's say it takes me 5 minutes to delegate content. It takes me 10 minutes to review. Why would it take 10 minutes to review? Because it's a lot easier to catch someone else's mistake than I think your own mistake. And let's say obviously the 30-minute talking doesn't really change. And so now we have 45 minutes. So we're at 45 minutes instead of 1.5 hours, instead of 90 minutes. So you see, this is like, we're cutting this in half, basically. It's cut in half the time. And if I'm making, let's say we're doing on average $175, okay, for this type of work, maybe. Some of them are going to be $150, some of them are going to be $200, depending on whether or not I know the client or not. Let's just average it out to $175. So $175, let's say, times 1.5. That is, or sorry, that makes no sense. No, 175, let's say I'm taking on 5 of these jobs, okay? 175, I make $875, okay? $875. Now, 1.5 hours times 5 would be 7.5 hours, let's say. But instead, it takes me maybe 3 hours and 45 minutes or something like that, right? So, you see how it cuts this whole thing in half? Instead of taking 7.5 hours out of my time, it only takes me 3.5 hours. I'm making about $875. You know, 875 divided by, let's just say, 3.75. Okay, something like that. About $233 an hour. So let's just say, you know, about $200-ish an hour. I could probably make the margin a little higher, admittedly, but that's not bad. $200 an hour, you know, and let's just say after 5 hours of work, you know, after the whole thing, 875, we're making about maybe $600 in profit for about 5 hours worth of work. 5-ish, you know, or not 5 hours, 3.5 hours worth of work. You see how this model is so much better because I can get the same type of work done without having to do it myself, and then leaves me more time to do videos like this. So the whole point of this video is you gotta find a way. I think that you gotta find a way to, you know, care for your old clients because they were your supporters, ethically, morally, in every way. I think it's right for you to always help the people who helped you get to where you are. So I always want to see if I can add value to their lives. They're loyal. They turn to me when they need help. And I don't want to just shove them away and say, hey, no, I'm a big shot now. Fuck off. You know, I don't want to do that because that's, in my opinion, it's not right. So I want to find a way. And also, it is an extra couple $100. You know, it is a couple $100 that I can add, you know, throw in a stock portfolio, buy groceries with, buy stuff for my business. You know, it is cash. It's cash. And I want to make sure that I can get a good, I want to get some money. You know, you feel me? I want fucking money. So this way I get the money. My client gets the service, same quality, because I'm double checking everything. Admittedly, there will be times where I have to go back and do some stuff, and it's going to be a pain in the tuchus, but generally speaking, it's a lot faster to get it done this way than it is if I do it all myself, obviously. And the overhead isn't that much. You know, the cost of my VAs to do this versus me doing it is a lot better than, yeah, obviously, if I were to do it myself. And this way, they get the same service. I look good because it came from me. It was delivered by my agency, which I run. So they're like, hey, Josh does a great job. So these are some of the tasks that you can kind of delegate and kind of give out to your VAs. So again, keeping the loyalty with old clients and adding value is key, especially if you want to be doing, like, you want to have a good reputation. If you want people to say, like, hey, you know, this guy, you know, Mr. Agency Owner, he does an awesome job. He took care of me. He fit my budget. You want to be known as that guy. You don't want to be known as the asshole who's like, no, he's only in it for the money, you know. So you want to train your VAs to do some small work. And it's pretty obvious, but, you know, teach them basic photo editing if they don't already know, and some light website work. So website work like adding pages, adding the content to the pages, creating the padding and margins. It adds up, guys. It adds up. Where if it all takes you maybe 20 minutes to do that yourself, if you're doing it at higher volumes, it can add up to an hour, 2 hours of your day, and you are just being sucked out of your money. So you gotta have someone else do that, so you can spend time closing sales, following up, making sure clients are happy, and all of that stuff. Have them provide the invoices. I just do the billing. I can have my VAs do the invoicing, and it just makes life so much easier. And I think real quick before I end the video, a lot of people like to save their money. A lot of people like to, I think, hoard their money. And to be completely honest, I've kind of grew up with that mentality a little bit. I think just kind of like saving your money, keeping, don't take too many risks with your money. But when it comes to running a business, guys, you're not an average person. You're a person that needs to take risks, and taking risks involves hiring people. It involves, trying to find the right person to do the job, but at the end of the day, you never know, and you just got to take that risk. So that's all for today's video. If you guys have any questions about agency life, about SEO, anything like that, let me know. I'm more than happy to answer y'all. And with that being said, take care, guys. Stay safe out there and be healthy.